3-on-3. I want to ask you about that actually after the game the other day. What were your take out of it, seeing the team get out there for the first time? The consensus from the players was that was fun.
Yes, I think it's fun. I think that's where, the idea came from, as well as some good reasoning behind it. But I do think it's fun. I think, we have a fast team, a team that likes to get up and down the ice. So now they have a lot more ice to cover. But you can be patient at the same time and wait for the right play. So I think it was great. It was a good experience for us, and it's fun for our goalies too.
Yeah, Maddie even said it was fun. She still got some breakaways in there. Like
Absolutely, yeah, she had a big breakaway actually. Yep.
Sometimes goalies aren't a fan of 3-on-3. Though
Confident ones are, right?
Well, Maddie mentioned it does open the door for more assists. Though
Nice.
she's disappointed when I told her, no, those don't count in the regular season standings. Anything you learned as a coach from watching your team out there in live 3-on-3 action for the first time?
Well, I think, we've practiced it leading up to that, and we'll continue to practice it. What we talk about is managing the puck, having patience for the right play. You don't have to force things, and the changes, right? I think we've all seen NHL games or even NCHC games where if the change is off, you're giving up a pretty good opportunity the other way. So just being smart there.
Clarkson this week, maybe going back to the Whitecaps to Clarkson here now, what's the biggest thing that needs to get cleaned up as you actually start regular season play?
I think, that's why I love having the Whitecaps come as an exhibition game for us. We get to see it all put together. And I think, you got the lights on, the jerseys, the whole bit. You got to get that one out of your system, so now we're used to that. But being game ready for back-to-back games, right? That's a lot different than just one game. So making sure we're not getting fatigued early, being smart about our changes, just getting out there and seeing what we have.
Ashton Bell, we're going to see her at defense all year?
Yes.
What prompted that change? I know you guys experimented with it a little bit at times last year, and then I saw this summer Canada started lining her up at defense. I don't know how much you talk with the other national teams at all.
Yep.
What prompted the change?
I think, Hockey Canada has been a fan of Ashton in general, but as a defenseman for a few years, and we do communicate quite a bit. Obviously, we want our players to go on and play on national teams. So in communicating with them, we both came to the consensus that she'll be a great fit back there for us and for them. And so it's worked out well in her camps and experiences so far for Hockey Canada, and we like what we're seeing from her back there too.
Was there something Hockey Canada at all saw, like last year when you guys were using her at defense, that prompted them, or had they been maybe pushing you for a while to put her back there?
They started with a development camp, so prior to last season.
Prior to last season, they started experimenting?
Yeah, they started putting her on D at that point, I believe, because she was a forward for U18s, and then at some point they put her back there, and they liked it, and I think it plays into her game. She's clearly a hybrid D because she has that offensive ability, but I think she sees the ice really, really well, and is a good puck mover in general, so now she has a little more space and time to do those things. So it makes good sense, and clearly good size and physicality where you need it.
How do you balance, as a coach, you have a player and you want to do what's best for your program, but you also want to do what's best for them. And maybe what's best for them may or may not be what's best for the program. Also, you're helping out your biggest rival here.
Well, hey.
As a USA Hockey person yourself.
No, you take your hat off for USA Hockey, and we want to work with every country that our kids come from. We work with Sweden, with Emma, and Canada closely. But usually we are on the same page, and I think it's important to include the athletes. So we've talked to Ashton about this over the years, and it wasn't a huge surprise when we talked about it last spring. So I think you have to get the buy-in from the player as well as, the governing body and the team. And once you have that, it's a good thing. If you try to force someone to do something they don't want to do, I think it really muddies the waters.
How has Ashton so far early on, and maybe first impressions from that Whitecaps game, playing D full time there? The puck movement thing I thought stood out to me. That's got to be a nice thing to add to your repertoire, having a puck movement defenseman.
Absolutely, and her ability to just pick it up and go. She's going to come up the middle of the ice with speed and that size and dish it wisely. So I think that just gives us a different look on the back end. I like her back there. I think we have a really solid D core, and I know she's having fun being back there too.
Did you learn a lot from last year's Clarkson series? Just because the players say that they remember it vividly.
Yep, that was a tough weekend for us last year, and I think, you know, we've talked a lot this preseason about that chip on our shoulder in general. So I know we want to certainly play better than we did. And a lot of their players are back, but they do have some new players as well. So they're a little different looking. Obviously, we're a little different looking. And I think it's more about us versus them. So we need to be sharp. We want to be structured in the D zone. We want to be tough on the forecheck, tough on the back check. We want goals to go in from our offense and from our defense. That's kind of the style we want to be playing. So as long as we're taking care of ourselves, then we should be able to take care of business.
A pair of players making, you know, waves already over there are WCHA transfers. I mean, do you remember going up against?
Oh yeah, yep, and Zeglin and Net, yeah, absolutely, and yeah, Kayla had a nice weekend last weekend. I think came out with at least 2 goals, maybe a couple assists. She's always been a good player, has the ability to put the puck in the net, which she's been doing. And Zeglin played quality minutes for Ohio State, so another good player. Kind of funny that we're going up against them again. Same thing happened last year with Sauvé transferring there and us facing her. So kind of fun. I think our players like when they play opponents that they know. So it makes it a little more interesting.
Clarkson better resemble a WCHA team. A lot, you know, I hear players say physical, and we don't always hear that when we're talking about teams from out east.
Yeah, they're heavily Canadian, play a physical brand, very sound in their structure, and you know, one of the best players in the country is Elizabeth Jaguar, number 7 for them. You'll notice her right away. She's a big kid, sweet hands, and can make some nice plays out there. So we have to be aware when she's on the ice, absolutely. And I like the matchup a lot. I think it's a great series for us. Great to have a former national champion coming up to Duluth, and I think a good experience for us moving forward with WCHA games.